Hello and welcome to my review of the Loft Discs Xenon. It's a 9-speed utility driver from Loft Discs out there in Denmark. Thank you to them for sending me these to check out. I've tried a bunch of their discs already. The hydrogen was the first one they released. I have a review on that. I have a review on the borium, ultra-fast, high-speed distance driver. And then most recently, I had showed off the brand new Neon on the channel as well. Mega Puddle Top Overstable Approach Disc. This is the Xenon, and again, it is a 9-speed 9304, and I really like this disc. One of the things you're going to notice about it straight away is the shape of it. It's so smooth, so comfortable, no flashing, no sharp edges. You know, sometimes you like a disc and it flies good, but the feel isn't quite right. They really seem to pay a lot of attention to the feel on this disc. And, you know, without spoiling the whole video, I kind of feel like the overall vibe of this disc is a classic 9-speed overstable utility driver, but instead of just producing another exact kind of copy or thereabouts of a Firebird or another disc like that, maybe a Felon or something, they went for that type of flight, but in design, they went for a much smoother, rounded, ultra comfortable feel. They all have this nice flat top on them, which I think you can see there pretty well. Let's take a look at this pink one again. Also flat top, also very, very smooth and rounded. No flashing, nothing like that whatsoever. You can see this one has a really beautiful metallic sheen to it. It's also a bit translucent where you can see the light come through the disc. These kind of feel more similar to the kind of standard Alpha Solid feel that I used to, I guess, and also kind of similar to a really established plastic on the market, which would be Innova Star Plastic. Very similar to that in terms of the feel and that classic opaque look. So we already kind of got into the design and the shape. We took a good look at these. Let's go right into comparing them side by side with some other options. First and most obvious is the Star Firebird 9304, same flight numbers, but if you look at this Firebird, it's got a little bit of damage, but you can see how there's that sharpness on the underside edge there, right? The top is rounded, but that underside has a little bit of a sharp edge. Now let's throw it up next to the Xenon, and you can see that sharp edge is eliminated, and the top edge is rounded over as well, and this inside rim is softer. There's not as much to kind of catch your fingers, so this thing just comes out of the hand so smooth and clean. So that's the Star Firebird. This Star Firebird is pretty similar in terms of the flat top, maybe not quite as flat as the Xenon. Has that nice flat portion right in the dead center there, around the center line. And I feel like the Xenon also a bit shallower than a Firebird, just a touch. It's tough to kind of see and judge that. I could be wrong. I'm kind of looking at it off camera while I'm trying to film this, so could be wrong there, but it feels just that little bit lower profile as well. And also we have a Ricky Felon. This is my kind of lemon lime Felon that I've had in the bag for quite a while. Still one that's kind of in the discussion to be bagged. I just haven't been using it. I have a different Felon that I carry for utility, and I really don't use that very much these days either, just with the courses I've been playing and stuff. 9.3.5 and 4. So kind of funny that they're trying to represent the Felon as more overstable than a Firebird, because it's not at all. It's not even as overstable as a Firebird. And then also this Orbit Ricky Run Felons are straighter as well. They're not that overstable. This one I can throw pretty straight to fade rather than have it be like a true overstable utility type flight. And once again, if we throw this next to it, you can see the Felon's comfortable and it has a good feel and it's not really a big problem, but the Xenon has that a little bit smoother, more rounded profile and just feels that bit better in the hand. Now, maybe you like that sharp edge or classic style design. In that case, this is not for you, but if you're looking for something that has a different feel, a softer feel in the hand and a very smooth design to it, might be something that you want to look into. All right, we talked about the design, the plastic types. We took a look at them side by side with some other discs in and around the same use in your bag. And there's nothing left to do but take a look at the rest of the flight footage. And again, there's not a whole lot to say here. Established type of disc, the overstable 9-speed utility driver, forehand rollers, overhand shots, skip shots as well. and any kind of little chip backhands. A classic style of disc kind of interpreted in a new way. And I think that's what I really like about this. I've mentioned this before in other reviews from Loft Discs out there in Denmark, is that they are trying to bring something a little bit different to the market. Sure, they could have just kind of copied the Felon and the Firebird directly and not really change anything around very much, but they were able to produce a disc that gives you all the same utility in flight with a noticeably different feel in the hand. I think it's a really smart idea, and I think these are probably underrated in terms of discs on the market. You know, you don't see a ton of people who know this brand, especially not in my area here in Oregon, and hopefully I can help continue to spread the word about these really excellent discs. They are designed using a computer flight path simulator, so they can actually put their kind of intended design into this software and extrapolate from there and get an idea of how the disc is going to behave. They can tweak the designs around that, and I feel like they've really gotten very close to what they've been trying to achieve so far based on my independent testing of these. They're not paying me to give them any favorable reviews or anything, as always. They're just my opinions based on testing these discs, watching Andy throw them, evaluating the flight footage, feeling them in the hand, and comparing them to other discs that I have a ton of experience with, all kinds of different discs over many years now, going back reviewing hundreds of discs. So I really like that they're bringing something a little bit different to the table in terms of the feel, but they're giving us that classic overstable utility flight that I think anybody can get use out of. If you're a brand new beginner, this thing's going to be quite mean, but it's not so overstable that it's like dumb. You know, it has a really aggressive fade when it slows down, but you can still work it over on a tight flex, and it's still throwable for slower arm speed players like myself. I'm not looking to get distance out of this thing, but it's not quite as mean as like a flat top Champ Firebird or like a Calvin Heimberg Draco or some of those really overstable 9 speeds that just are complete meat hooks. This thing, I can get it to flex a little bit. I can get it to fly straight for a little while before that fade kicks in, but it still offers all of that really trustworthy windy condition, aiming out to the right, rip it, know what it's going to do. It's going to dump left, overstable utility flight. So that is it for this video. Thank you very much once again to Loft Discs out there in Denmark for sending me another sweet box of plastic to check out and to review. I also appreciate their patience, as it always takes me quite a while to work my way through all this stuff and get the testing done and the footage I need and be able to bring these full-length Disc Golf Nerd disc reviews here to the channel. Over 300 others for you to reference in the playlist you'll find in the end screen of this video. Check the link tree in the description to find access to all active coupon codes, Disc Golf Nerd merch, my signature disc, my signature jersey. All that stuff can be found in the link in the description below. And as always, huge shout out to the Disc Golf Nerd Patreon support team. I was actually able to hang out with one of my patrons at the Disc Golf Depot the other day, so shout out to Joe. I appreciate him. I appreciate all of you, and I'll talk to you very soon. Cheers.